Hey, Alpha Gaming, Harris here. Sup Nation, hope you're having a fantastic Monday. YouTube, how the fudge you doing? What's up everybody? Welcome back to the Alpha Gaming channel. My name is Harris Heller. That was the stupidest thing I've ever done. I am your stream doctor, and today we're gonna talk about stupid things. That's actually a great transition. Stupid things that streamers do. Maybe not stupid things. Mistakes. Mistakes growing streamers do that just ruin their careers. How many of you recognized every single intro I did? And if you did, leave them in the comments down below. I want to know who got that reference. These videos are always really interesting ones to do because there is validity behind every single one of these things that I'm going to talk about. These are all rules that I've discovered from being a full-time YouTuber and content creator for 5 years. Mistakes that I've made, mistakes that I've watched other people make and really damage their careers. But I'm going to ask you to do something that might seem like common sense, but unfortunately doesn't happen as much as we'd like it to. Of these 5 rules that I've set for myself through trial and error over the years that have helped me find massive success, I want you to think critically about each one because every single one of these has an exception. I'm gonna give a rule and someone's gonna comment and say, oh, what about this guy? Blah, 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 blah. Every one of these has an exception. There's a reason there are exceptions. I'm filming this video for potentially hundreds of thousands of people who are going to watch this. This video needs to be a one-size-fits-all video, and then it's up to you to think critically about your brand and how it applies to these rules and find the match. Let's be smart here. I don't know what that is. So let's jump into it. What is this video? There is a very fragile period in every growing streamer's career. That moment when you suddenly start taking off, whether you have a Twitter video blow up, whether you are just the flavor of the week because you're really good at a game, whatever it is, there's a moment where people really peak with their growth. When that happens to a streamer, they always assume that that curve is going to continue. It doesn't, usually. It almost always caps out. The growth can continue, but that incredible growth usually doesn't stay moving that direction. And unfortunately, a lot of streamers, because they haven't had to deal with this kind of immense growth before, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with the surge of subscriber money they've gained. They don't know what to do with the surge of viewers. They don't know how to capture that audience and make sure that that person who got excited about you for a month continues to be excited about you for 5 years. I've spent years analyzing what other people do wrong. I've spent years analyzing what went wrong with my music career with my wife. We blew up to 1.5 million followers, and then over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, it just slowly dropped. Have had a lot of time to think about what I did wrong and what other people are doing wrong. Let's talk about those things. On the flip side, I'm also going to talk about the thing that you should do instead of this mistake. So I'm not just telling you to avoid bad advice, I'm giving you the counter good advice. Number 1. Be wary of big contracts. That sounds like I'm being paranoid. I'm not. I'm not saying don't ever sign a big contract. I'm saying have a couple people read it first. There's a lot of growth happening in the gaming industry right now, and businesses really want to take advantage of that. They want to take advantage of growth. They want to take advantage of you. Be careful of every company that wants to sign you on as one of their clients. My agency that I work with right now is awesome, and I spent about 2 weeks reading the contract, sending it to other people that understand legal situations, sending it to lawyers. Take your time. Because the bottom line is these companies, they want a piece of your pie. Some of them want a portion of your revenue. Some of them want a percentage of your income. Those are usually the ones that people back out of and are freaked out by. Some of them say, oh, we don't want any money from you. We just want to put all of our sponsors on your channel. Honestly, those are actually the ones I'd be more scared about. Let's talk about how orgs and content creators work in a nutshell, in like 2 sentences. Big orgs have sponsors, and their rate, or how much the orgs charge the sponsors in return, depends on the org's reach. How many people watch the org's players? How many people see the sponsors' advertised products? Meaning if you're blowing up and you've gone up to 150 viewers, you're probably pulling in about 5,000 individual viewers per stream. That's 5,000 more people that see the sponsors every single stream, that org can now go back to the sponsors and say, hey, we added this person to our roster. We added 5,000 more eyeballs every single day to your product. Let's bump that up from $50,000 to $60,000 a month. That would not be an insane price jump for that size streamer. Even though the org isn't charging you anything, they're making a shiz ton of money off of you. Not only are you not seeing a dime of it, but usually that also restricts the sponsors you can do personally and actually make money off of it. Let's say you blow up, you sign a contract with an org because you're excited that they've validated you and recognized you and you get to be on a pro team now, and now your org is sponsored by DX Racer. Maybe a month down the line, Maxnomic or Clutch Chairs or whatever comes to you and says, hey, we want to sponsor you, we want to pay you $3,000 a month to use our chair. You have to say no. That org is making $5,000 to $10,000 a month off of you, and you are losing out on not only that revenue, but also another $3,000 personal sponsorship that you can't get anymore. Read your contracts. This was basically the bottom line of why Tfue wanted out. And by the way, I'm not going to turn this into a Tfue versus FaZe Clan thing right now, because I don't really care what side. They're both in the wrong for parts of it, but it's important that you know when FaZe Clan said we only took $60,000 from Tfue, that is like esports' biggest lie of the year, because FaZe Clan, just by having Tfue on, probably made a good 6 figures a month increasing their ad revenue because of the new reach that they had, and Tfue saw none of that. So FaZe Clan didn't just take $60,000. FaZe Clan literally took millions from Tfue. Whoever side you're on, it's important that you recognize that. What you should do instead is ask yourself these 2 questions every time a big company wants to sign you on as a client, whether it's an agency, a manager, an org, whatever it is. 1, what motivation does the company have making you more money? And 2, are they making money off of you even if you don't make money? For example, are they charging you monthly? Are they making sponsorship deals in your behalf and not giving you a piece of the cut? Things like that. Just to give you an example of a good situation, my agency takes 10 to 15% of every sponsorship they bring to me. That is their entire income. They make no other money off of me. Meaning, if I'm not making money, they're not making money. The more money I make, the more money they make. And they negotiate every deal for me, because anytime a sponsor comes and wants to sponsor a video or wants to sponsor me, they always negotiate that price higher because we both make more money that way. It's a win-win all around. There's zero conflict of interest there. Look for something like that. Number 2, always gets negative comments. Turning off your face cam. Now, this one is not actually about turning off your face cam. This one is about experimenting, exploring, trying new things on your stream. It's about doing it right. But I mentioned the webcam thing because turning off the webcam is one of the more common ways that people experiment with their stream. You should always be exploring new ways to make your stream unique, to stand out, to make it more fun to watch. But you have to recognize there is also a bottom line for what is, for lack of a better term, required for success on said platform. For example, on YouTube, if you don't post at least once a week, YouTube will not recommend your videos. They are looking for consistent content creators that put up at least weekly content. So experimenting with only posting once a month is generally a really bad idea. And an exception to this is a channel called Kyrgyzstat? I don't know how to pronounce it. You probably know what I'm talking about. They only post once a month, but their videos are amazing. The animation is incredible. The information doesn't exist anywhere else out there on the internet. I shouldn't say on the internet, on YouTube. They have managed to find one of the few ways to circumvent that rule. They are the exception, not the rule. It's always best to assume you are the rule until you get a better grasp of how the platform works. And things like on Twitch. Twitch is all about the relationship between the viewer and the streamer. That is one of the most vital aspects of the stream, and turning off the camera makes it very, very difficult to do that. The last thing you want to do is highlight your gameplay around a certain game, and then the moment that game dies, well, so does your career, because you didn't establish a connection with your viewers. To give you a good example, one person you should use as a solid reference to experimenting on your stream, one of my favorite streamers is Danuk D. She plays PUBG, her gameplay is insane, but that's not what she relies on. She has gotten really creative with her stream. She's set up a very aesthetically pleasing stream. Viewers can trigger sound effects by typing commands in the stream that apply to what she's playing. She even takes sound clips from the collabs and streams that she does, and she has someone remix them into original songs that she plays between games. This is how you get creative on stream. Or for example, Fear itself, a Fortnite player, has set up a bunch of different green screened situations so that he can add a lot more personality to his stream and make it more fun to watch. These are awesome ways to be creative. Getting rid of your webcam, not so much. Enter comments, but Lyric doesn't have a webcam. I know Lyric doesn't have a webcam. He's the exception, not the rule. That's what I've been trying to say this whole time. Moving on, number 3. This one's subtle. This one takes some time to learn. Let's talk about what happens when people who have generally been ignored the majority of their life suddenly have a large audience listening and supporting and cheering on everything they say. And that pretty much describes everybody who blows up on Twitch. I remember feeling like a nothing for the first 25 years of my life, and then suddenly on Twitter and on Instagram, everybody wanted to know what I was doing. Everybody wanted to respond to everything I was saying. It's a very empowering moment, and it becomes tempting to turn your social media into your own personal soapbox. Don't become that person that turns every single tweet into you're doing this wrong and we need to do this. And like, I get it, those things aren't bad to do. Sharing your opinions and being an example to those around you is really important. Social media is about conversation. It's about building relationships. It's about connecting. And if you are shouting with a bullhorn in front of your mouth 24/7 on social media, you can't connect with anyone. Share your opinions. Be someone that other people look up to, but also make sure you take the time to step back, step down from your soapbox, and connect with people. Be real with people. Be embarrassing with people. Laugh at yourself. Just because every tweet is super relatable and gets over 100 likes doesn't mean you're building the relationships that you need to continue growing. Number 4. Number 4 is probably my favorite. And not just because it talks about money, but it does talk about money. I'm gonna say something really incriminating. Money gets me excited. But not because I love money, but because of the opportunities that money allows me. I will get more into this with number 5, but let's just talk about money for a second. If you get that blow up month, whether it's large or small, whether it's fast or it's over the course of a couple months, suddenly you went from having 20 subscribers to 500 subscribers, and you got thousands of dollars more that month than you got any month prior. It is incredibly tempting to blow it on all the equipment you've ever wanted. Trust me, I know. I have wanted an RTX card in my streaming PC since they came out. That extra crisp clearness on the stream would be fantastic. Haven't bought one yet. When people blow up, they buy cameras, they buy PCs, they buy those stupid little nano leafs, which, okay, I shouldn't call them stupid. They're actually really cool. But what happens when the exciting month is over and the next month you drop back down to 200 subscribers? That money is gone. That money is spent. It is never coming back. What a lot of streamers don't realize is that influx in cash was an opportunity to really kickstart their growth. The first thing I did when this channel started making money is I hired an editor. If you don't mind me getting into some kind of personal finance of the channel a little bit, this channel at the time was making about $1,500 a month. The very first thing I did was I hired our editor, Sam. And I hired him for a good chunk more than the YouTube channel was making, but I saw an opportunity to hire an editor to make more consistent, higher quality content than I could currently make at the time, and potentially really kickstart this channel to go in the right direction. A couple months later, this channel is making more money than I'm paying Sam. Barely, but it is. It's now officially self-sufficient. The channel makes more money than it costs. And I was able to continue that growth forward, which was the most important thing to me. I know a lot of streamers would look at that and go, you pay this guy how much a month? Do you realize how many PCs that could buy you, or how much equipment or cameras or whatever that could buy you every month? Yes, I get it. It's very difficult to watch a good chunk of money disappear every month. But because I've done that, this channel has not only made me back the money I've spent, but I'm also moving forward, and now it's making enough money for me to also start up my personal YouTube channel, which I should be starting in the next month or so here. Make sure you spend your money on growth before you spend it on equipment. When the growth continues and you make double what you did a couple months ago, spend that money on equipment. But for now, when you get that first blow up month, spend it on growth. All right, last one, number 5. Plan 5 steps ahead. This is one that streamers are very bad at. And I get it. For a lot of people, streaming for a living is the end goal. And you know what? If all you're trying to do is make a living streaming, don't worry about it. But if you are an ambitious person who wants all the success that they have the potential of, limiting yourself to just streaming is considerably limiting yourself. If you can establish yourself a plan of, as soon as I'm making this much in excess money a month, I'm going to start up a YouTube channel, hire an editor, even if it's just cutting up funny streams and posting them to YouTube. And once that channel gets enough subscribers and starts making enough money, then I'm going to add this to my entourage of whatever I create. Have your internet takeover plan planned out at least 4 to 5 steps in advance. I have plans of things I'm gonna launch within the next month. I have things I'm gonna launch within the next 2 months, and I have things that I'm going to launch in the next 2 to 3 years that I'm already speaking to developers about. I'm very excited about them. But it's important that you recognize that having those long-term plans aren't just to have them, but oftentimes those long-term plans can actually affect what your short-term plans are, because those become stepping stones to the bigger things. I feel like I should end this with a really crappy number 6. Release a really bad iTunes song. All the YouTubers are doing it nowadays. I'm lost, I'm found. Don't even get me started. I feel like YouTubers are just releasing songs like every day, bro. If you found this helpful at all, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Also, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday evening. Sometimes, like right now, I'm literally about to go fire it up right now when it's 2 in the afternoon, because I'm about to collab with a super dope streamer who's gonna carry me through every single game. But if you have any questions about this or just want to come hang out, make sure you follow me on Twitch, link in the description below. If you want to find people to discuss these with and collaborate on ideas, make sure you join the Discord below. We have a massive, amazing community that I'm so proud of. Discord.gg/alphagaming. Again, link in the description below. And as always, happy streaming.
This little ditch right
I see him
here.
coming out of the boot camp. Whatever this thing's
Light
called.
him up, baby. Light him up. I see him.
Got him.
Oh.
In front of us. Got him.
Oh. What? You're a liar. You said you weren't good.
I think I just peeked.